Welcome back. In this video, you'll see me shield this guitar with copper tape. There are lots of videos and resources out there about copper shielding guitar, why you should do it, how to do it, so you can check those out on your own. This was my first attempt. Here we go. So I decided to start with the easiest thing to tape, the pickguard. So copper tape is really crinkly. If you've ever worked with aluminum tape for ductwork or pipe work, it's very similar. You want to get it as smooth as possible with as few air bubbles and folds, so you want something to smooth it out, similar to when you're installing a screen protector on a phone. So in my case, I used an old Starbucks card. And just a reminder, this was my first time doing it, I just did the best I could. Some people on YouTube have done some super clean, super smooth jobs, so if you want to see it done really well, you should check them out. So once the pickguard was all taped up, I used a craft knife to cut away all the excess. When you're working with a craft knife, I can't emphasize enough. Use a self-healing mat like I have here so you're not damaging your table underneath. Take your time and be freaking careful when using a craft knife. You do not want to accidentally cut yourself. Watch your fingers on your free hand, especially your thumb. One of my teachers in design school said he cut his thumb big time when using a craft knife from an errant slip, so I feel obligated to pass along the same message to all of you. Anyways, after finishing with the pickguard, I moved to the neck pickup cavity. I started by cutting the bottom piece to shape, then taped the sides, used a craft knife to trim any excess, and also added small excess pieces on the body to ensure contact with the pickguard. I also used a spare piece of wire to poke holes where the wires would have to go. I figured doing this now would be helpful for wiring later. Next, the bridge pickup cavity. At first I tried the same method of cutting an outline piece for the bottom, but found there were 3 additional gaps at the bottom for the pickup screws, which made it trickier to cut out a perfect piece. So instead I just used multiple pieces of tape to line the entire cavity, then used a small dowel rod to smooth out the tape, particularly for those bottom gaps. I followed up by using the same piece of wire to create holes and used the craft knife to trim the excess tape that would otherwise spill outside of the bottom of the bridge. Here's a close-up of those 3 gaps in the bridge pickup cavity. So as you can see, the end result of this was a rough tape job for this cavity because of those gaps. Moving along, the control plate cavity. I started with an outline piece for the bottom and added plenty of tape inside, smoothed it out with the card, and used a piece of wire for the holes again. And again, I attached a control plate to see what excess would have to be cut. I used both scissors and the craft knife, smoothed it out with the card, and attached the plate again to double check. There's still a big hole for the input jack, and I actually decided to tape this. Some have said this is unnecessary and could actually cause issues, but I decided to do it, just for a sense of completion or, idiocy. Either way, I went with it, and you can see the end result in this close-up shot here. I added strips to make the connection with the tape inside the control plate cavity and a little on the outside so it can make contact with the input jack itself. And that's it for copper shielding, thank God. There's a link in the description below for the tape that I used. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.